This just in. Breaking news, our top story tonight. In a recent Reddit AMA, Bill Gates said that Bitcoin is directly killing people. When asked for follow-up as to how, he said, indirectly. Next up, Tommy Lee believes Bitcoin will be 25K by the end of the year. Good to see he's still doing stuff. In other news, Porsche becomes the first car company to implement blockchain. That's right, it's 2017 Lambo, 2018 Porsche. We're still saying Moon though, right? Moon is still cool. Popular cryptocurrency Walton Chain had a disaster the other day as it appears they were rigging contests to fake winners. Investors, as usual, kept calm and collected. I'm just fucking with you. It lost 100 million. All this and more tonight on Crypto News. I want to welcome everybody back to the show. Good to have you here. We got a couple items of business before we jump into some news. For starters, I just had a podcast over on the podcast channel with Richard Hart, so make sure to head over there and check it out. The link is in the description below. Also, we've began the nomination process for the new coins we're going to add to our portfolio on Sunday. So far, when we look at the bankrolls of how you guys have been doing, you've been getting fucked up. I'm really glad we got the Substratum, Digibyte, and Cardano. Those are really coming through big right now. If you're not familiar with the challenge, I gave you guys $100,000 of my money to play around with and pick some coins, and this is what you picked so far. Now, we are going to add in a few new ones. I'm going to take Bitcoin out just because I don't think it makes sense to add that in given the structure of what we're doing. So we're going to get rid of 2 of the current coins and Bitcoin, and we're going to add in 3 brand new ones. So I tweeted this out yesterday, and I'm going to look to see what community seems to want their coins added the most. And then on Sunday on the live stream, we will vote as to which new coins get added to the portfolio. Saturday, I'm also going to tweet out asking which 2 you guys want removed of the current portfolio, so make sure to stay tuned over on Twitter if you want to vote to see what happens in our portfolio. And one last thing here, I am actually giving away 10% of my profit over my original 10 Bitcoin. I'm going to give it away to the fans if we do end up making money. It's not looking like we're going to do too much here, but hopefully we can turn it around. And if we don't make any money, I'll still give away 0.1 Bitcoin just for the lulz. That's me paying you to lose me money. With all of that out of the way, let's jump on to our first story tonight. Tommy Lee makes a bold Bitcoin prediction that's going to get to 25,000 by the end of the year. It's not really bold. You know what would be bold? What would be bold would be to say, it's going to 1 million or I'm going to do something crazy like, I don't know, jump off a building or eat your own dick. Of all the things I'd say I'd do if I lost a bet, eating my dick would be right around here. If you're not familiar with Tom Lee, he is the co-founder of Fundstrat, which is a market and strategy company. Tom Lee reinforced his belief that Bitcoin will reach 20K by mid-year and 25K by the end of the year. He also expects 3 publicly traded companies to issue their own cryptocurrency in 2018. So this guy is very bullish on the long-term benefits of blockchain, where it's going, and he's expecting more and more companies to get into the mix. And I have to say, I've got mixed feelings about that. It does seem more and more like what's happening with cryptocurrency is moving away from some of the fundamental value that I believe in. Things like actually being decentralized, which is not in style at all right now. Or, for example, not having a pre-mine where the founders of the coin end up having most of the supply or a lot of the supply or 100% of the supply, and then they sell it off. You know, I will say that I think that there are many good projects out there, but I do think it's important to remember that we should stick to, when it comes to treating it like a store of value, we should try and stick to the things like Bitcoin or even Litecoin or things that have been fair and not lean towards some of these upcoming projects. Now, if you're not looking for store of value, then I think a lot of these projects can have great upside. There are certainly people working on great things in the community, and some of them will succeed in a big way, kind of like what we saw with Ethereum. But also be aware that company-founded blockchains will be for them to make money. And yes, they should also have utility, which make them useful for everyone. But be aware of, as we see these things become bigger, we see the Telegram ICO, we see companies getting more actively involved in trying to have their own coin. Keep in mind that you should have a fair view of what they're trying to do, but also remember it's not the best place for store of value like something like Bitcoin. I'm sure this is one of the reasons you guys tune in, for me to drop groundbreaking knowledge bombs like Bitcoin is safer than ICOs. Who knew? Nobody knew. According to this article from Cointelegraph, Lee sees corporations entering the crypto sphere as support for his prediction of Bitcoin's price upswing, citing Japanese e-commerce company Rakuten's February 27th announcement that they will be launching their own cryptocurrency as just one case of the crypto world constructively developing this year, regardless of Bitcoin's price drop. Lee reports also predict that several large companies like Starbucks, Facebook, and Amazon, none of which have yet entered the crypto world in a significant way, are likely to implement blockchain technology this year. Implement. Great English going on here over at Cointelegraph. In 2017, Lee predicted that Bitcoin price would break $6,000 by the end of the year, so it is kind of hard to trust him here moving forward. This entire thing has me wondering just one question. Why is Tommy Lee involved in this space at all? It makes no sense. I mean, yeah, it says, oh shit, Tom Lee. Oh, billionaire Tom Lee. That makes a lot more sense, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Next up, the story that has been rocking the boat here in crypto. Bill Gates did an AMA where he had some kind of negative things to say. And this was weird because we've seen Bill Gates in 2016 have some positive things to say, and it's kind of slowly transformed into where it is today, which is Bitcoin kills people. Before we talk about my thoughts, let's take a look at the actual posts themselves over on Reddit. Asker1337 said, "What's your opinion of cryptocurrencies?" Bill Gates said, "The main feature of cryptocurrencies is their anonymity. I don't think this is a good thing. The government's ability to find money laundering and tax evasion and terrorist funding is a good thing. Right now, cryptocurrencies are used for buying fentanyl and other drugs, so it's a rare technology that has caused deaths in a fairly direct way. I think the speculative wave around ICOs and cryptocurrencies is super risky for those who go long." Bill Gates also followed up by saying, "Yes, anonymous cash is used for these kinds of things, but you have to be physically present to transfer it, which makes things like kidnapping payments more difficult." I want to say that I respect Bill Gates a lot. He's a self-made man, turned himself into the richest man in the world by creating and using technology to get to where he is today. And I have nothing but respect for what he's done and the fact that he gives so much of the money back to try and help worthy causes with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But it directly kills people. That's a really weird argument to take here. And when he says direct, I think what he means is indirect. This would be like blaming people for getting shot with a gun on fiat currency. If there wasn't fiat currency, they couldn't have bought that gun. I mean, I'm not saying it, but I'm just saying fiat kills. You know, fiat kills people. So why aren't people talking about that? Actually, let's take a little look at this. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Here's a graph I've prepared for you guys, and these are approximations because there's no actual data out there. But this is a graph of fiat currency deaths versus cryptocurrency deaths. Ooh, not looking very good here for fiat. I gotta say, crypto looking a lot healthier. It's sad to see how many people in the world are hurt by cryptocurrency. You know, before cryptocurrency, there wasn't crime. There wasn't violence. There weren't drug lords. People couldn't even get drugs into the country. There was nothing they could do. There was no way to engage in illegal activity because every transaction was tracked by the US government. And now that cryptocurrency's out there with all these anonymous Bitcoin addresses that you can't look up in a public ledger, you just can't do it anymore. I do understand where Bill Gates is coming from in that there are people who use cryptocurrency for illegal acts, but that's going to happen with any kind of currency. And although you do have to admit it makes it a bit easier for criminals, there are many other upsides that he's totally just not even going to talk about because he's worried about these few downsides. You know, what about the advancement of the technology in general? What about not having to rely on a centralized entity to control the money supply? What about these types of upsides? No, instead he's going to focus on just the drawbacks or the negative things. Also, if somebody uses money to buy drugs that kill them, is it really the money that's killing them, or is it the drugs? The drugs and the person. You know, it's kind of like the old classic debate with guns. People say, you know, guns don't kill people, people do. And then other people say, no, the guns are killing the people, right? Well, now it'd be like, hey, it's the money that's killing the people. You know, you can't really just blame other things. Frankly, I don't want to get too involved in that debate because I know that's a fairly contentious one. But at the end of the day, It is the drugs in this equation that are killing people, not the fact that they use cryptocurrency to buy it. Does it make it easier? Yes, I'm willing to admit that, but you have to focus on what's actually causing it rather than just blaming the way that somebody acquired it through whatever means. It did disappoint me to see Bill take such a negative stance, particularly when he's had positive ones in the past, but who knows, maybe by 2019 I'll have a new perspective and we might like that one. Moving on, let's discuss Porsche becoming the first car manufacturer to be putting blockchain into cars. According to this article from Cointelegraph, automobile manufacturer Porsche is exploring blockchain apps in its vehicles in cooperation with the Berlin-based startup Exane. In their press release published February 22nd, Porsche stated that the company is, quote, the first automobile manufacturer to implement and successfully test blockchain in a car. Possible applications for blockchain technology range from locking and opening car doors via an app with the possibility for temporary access authorization to new and improved business models through encrypted data logging. Porsche also stated that blockchain technology could be applied in further improving the safety and capabilities of other driverless cars. All in all, I like this idea. You can use blockchain technology to verify the true owner of the vehicle and allow them the ability to make these decisions about their car. And it's not something that can be hacked because of the blockchain technology. So it does make sense to me that it would apply here in the space of automotives. It's too early to say anything for sure, but I am excited as to the direction that this is headed. Finally tonight, let's talk about the PR disaster that happened over at Walton Chain. Now, this was extremely embarrassing for the cryptocurrency, but essentially they had some sort of giveaway going on where they were giving away Walton Chain for entering a giveaway. Well, something weird happened here where the account itself actually ended up responding to the original tweet once the winners were announced. And the tweet said, OMG, can't believe I won. Thank you, Walton team, heart. Keep doing the great work. This tweet obviously was supposed to be a response to seeing their name drawn as the winner to the giveaway, but that means that somebody who won had access to the account of Walton Chain and tweeted it on the corporate account, which really only means one of two things. Either someone who works at the company won the giveaway, a little suspicious there, and then they thought they were on their own account but tweeted on the Walton Chain account, and that's probably the more plausible one. Or the contest was rigged and they were trying to pretend like somebody won and they really didn't. Now, that would be extremely shady. I'm going to hope that it was just someone at the company won. But look, you shouldn't have your own employees entering the company giveaway. That's completely ridiculous. I'm also not aware of how they did the drawing, but usually when it comes to doing a drawing, you want to do it through a live stream or somewhere where people can see that the drawing is fair. What I'm going to do for the drawing with the portfolio challenge, I'm going to do it live stream and we'll use some kind of third-party app so you guys can actually see who won in real time. I've done that before on the poker channel with a lot of the giveaways, but it is important if you can to do it live so that people know that the drawing is fair, especially when apparently there are people that work at Walton Chain who are going to be winning the contest. Actually, I'm thinking about it. I might do this drawing privately. Yeah, actually, I have the drawing winner right here. Actually, wow, only one person received the entire prize. His name is Thomas. What are the chances of that? That's like 1 in a million or something. I mean, my own video editor won my own contest. I'm definitely going to send him the money. You should always have transparency, and there's no doubt about it, this was a terrible look for Walton Chain. But it is funny to me to see the size of the drop in Walton Chain's price when this story came out. Here we have a chart showing Walton Chain's price over the course of the last week. And as you can see, when this story broke, this thing bombed. It went from around $22 per unit all the way down to 17.6. So this thing lost like 25% of its entire value before rallying a little bit just because of this botched tweet. Does that really make sense? Should something lose a fourth of its entire market cap because of what could have been possibly rigged corporate giveaway? I would say I don't think so, but it really shows you how important it is to look good in this industry. You know, cryptocurrency, guys, it's extremely speculative, all right? When it comes to business, it's easy to kind of give things a value based on revenue, at least for, post-revenue businesses. Pre-revenue gets a little bit more complex. But when you look at speculative holdings, where it's really based around what people think is going to happen in the future rather than core underlying value, then these things can swing rather wildly. And especially for the smaller currencies, like something like Walton Chain, we're going to see these events play a huge role. I mean, Walton Chain isn't exactly making headlines all the time. And then when it does, it's for something negative. And we see a swift reaction from the market. So this really, to me, is a good indicator as to how it's a good example of how risky cryptocurrency can be and why I don't think that you should be investing a ton of your money into small individual currencies. It just takes one story to break that's bad for you, and it can have a severe effect on your overall portfolio. So I would absolutely recommend have a diversified portfolio, tend to stick to some of the bigger coins as your main holdings, and then still try to find smaller ones that you like, but do it in a responsible way. As a note, I am not a financial advisor. All investments have risk. This channel is for information and entertainment, and I really hope you didn't own Walton Chain yesterday. Thanks for joining me today. And remember, earlier I did a podcast with Richard Hart. Make sure to head over there and check it out on the podcast channel. I'll put a link in the description below.